Pitlochry was a steel four-masted barque built in Dundee, Scotland, in 1894 for the Ferdinand Laeisz shipping company. The large Windjammer, named after the town of the Pitlochry in Scotland, had, in accordance with the standards of the time, a steel hull made of riveted plates on steel frames and a collision bulkhead in the forecastle. She was built as a three-island ship, with a midships island also known as a Liverpool house. Three main hatches, one forward of the mizzenmast and one each forward and aft of the midships island, led to the cargo holds, as well as a smaller one forward of the foremast. 4 lifeboats were stowed in pairs on davits, one behind the foremast and one forward of the mizzenmast. Typical of a sailing ship from British shipyards was a quarter-circle covered stone wheelhouse. She had a modern standard rig with double topsail and topgallant yards with royal yards above. The mizzenmast was a pole mast, lower mast and mizzenmast in one piece, with 2 gaffs. The ship's hull was painted in the Laeisz colours of black, white and red. Black for the surface area with a white midship island, white for the waterline and red for the underwater area. She was a very fast, beautiful ship, superbly constructed. Her lines and sail plan, deck layout and rigging were all perfectly coordinated, as Captain Robert Mitte put it. Her captains attested to her excellent sailing characteristics. She responded easily and promptly to the rudder. Captains Heinrich Nissen and Robert Mitte steered her like a large sailing yacht. The four-masted barque was originally built by Alexander Stephen and Sons in Dundee for their own account. Carl Laeisz purchased her from the slipway. She was measured at 3,111 GRT, could carry up to 4,724 tons of cargo. 378.5 feet long and 45.2 feet wide, she was the largest Ferdinand Laeisz unit when commissioned. Like the vast majority of Laeisz ships, she sailed exclusively on the saltpeter route from Europe to Chile, with the exception of a world voyage in 1898 under Captain Georg Schluter via Philadelphia, Hyogo, and Valparaiso, and made many successful and fast voyages. Legendary sailing ship Captain Robert Hilgendorf was her first master and sailed her on her maiden voyage to Valparaiso and via Iquique with a cargo of saltpeter back to Hamburg, where he took over the 5-masted barque Potosi. In 1902, as one of the few tall ships, the Pitlochry managed the voyage from the English Channel to Valparaiso in 58 days under Captain Heinrich Nissen. On 25th of September 1905, the large barque under Captain Carl Victor Jessen suffered a partial dismasting in a severe gale off Cape Horn and sailed back to Montevideo under emergency rigging. After 10 days, she was finally towed into safety by the British steamer Jamna, arriving on the 5th of October 1905. The restoration would take months. Finally, the voyage to the west coast could begin and the return journey with saltpeter from Talcahuano to Hamburg was completed in the spring of 1907. In 1908, Captain Robert Mitte took over the large barque. That same year, sailing south through the English Channel in perfect weather and seeing the English seaside resort of Brighton, Captain Mitte headed for the coast and at the last moment jibed back out to sea just a few ships' lengths from the famous crowded pier. The paddlers could hear the commands and the sailors racing on deck and were thrilled by the maneuver of a huge windjammer sailing toward them under full sail and then turning away. They cheered and clapped so loudly that the crew on board could clearly hear their applause in return. Captain Mitte said that such an opportunity to operate so spectacularly close to the coast in perfect sailing weather only came once in a lifetime. In 1909, the ship again demonstrated her sailing qualities under Captain Robert Mitte, who, due to an approaching storm, was unable to obtain a pilot in Cuxhaven and was unable to tack or jibe to return to the open sea. He sailed up the Elbe to Hamburg, passing 3 of the then 5 lightships and finding the last anchorage outside the harbor in fog and twilight. The following day, the captains of the steamers, also there weathering the storm, were amazed to see a large four-masted ship anchored at this spot, without a tack or pilot. After 19 years of service, 1 circumnavigation and 23 round trips to Chile and back, she collided under the command of Captain Heinrich Horn on the 28th of November 1913, southwest of the Scilly Isles in the Atlantic, at position 47 degrees 20 minutes north, 8 degrees 6 minutes west, approximately 300 nautical miles west of Nantes, on the voyage to Valparaiso with the steamer Boulama of the Elder Line, and sank after about 20 minutes. The 33 crew members were all rescued by the steamer and brought to Liverpool. Apart from the Pitlochry, the only 4- and 5-masted ships lost by the Laeisz Shipping Company were the Preußen in 1910, the Pangani in 1913, and the Chile in 1919, none of which were through their own fault. This made the flying P-liners significantly more reliable than other sailing ships of their time.